Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including a super long-range Model Y, Model X refresh news, Cybertruck timeline updates, Tesla bot news, and more, so let's get into it, and a special thanks to Wren for sponsoring this video. First up today, a couple updates about Tesla's latest car, the Plaid Model S. As I talked about in recent videos, the Rimac Nevera has been proving itself as the quickest production car, beating the Plaid with its 0 to 60 in quarter-mile times. Well, drag times did the official drag race between those two cars, and as expected, the Nevera won. It's incredibly awesome that the two quickest cars are fully electric, and that both come unmodified from these companies. The big difference here is that the Plaid Model S costs about as much as the taxes on the Rimac Nevera, which starts at $2.4 million. It's awesome to see both of these cars, and it really helps demonstrate how incredibly impressive the Plaid Model S is, that it's putting up a great fight against such an incredible and expensive vehicle. I can't wait to see what happens with both of these cars in the future. At the same time, Rich Rebuilds did a teardown of the Plaid Model S and found a lot of interesting things. There are a few unique parts to the Plaid, like the new 12-volt lithium-ion battery, super manifold, and super beam, and when they looked underneath, they were mostly impressed by the vehicle, with some criticism as well. He did have some issues with the car after taking it to the drag strip, but he still said, quote, "I can honestly say it's light years ahead of any Tesla right now. I'm cheap, but I can see why it's $120,000 plus. I get it now." It's awesome to see this car doing well. However, Tesla still has some issues to work through, it seems, and that could be contributing to this car being so slow to start full-scale deliveries. As far as we can tell, Tesla has only delivered the Model S with the 21-inch Arachnid wheels, but a number of them have been spotted at delivery centers with the 19-inch Tempest wheels. These could have been delivered by now, but the Kilowatts got some pictures of these wheels in the wild, and it's our first look at the blacked-out Tempest wheels in the wild. These get almost 50 miles more EPA range, so they are definitely sought after by many Tesla buyers. They should get better range and better ride quality, but the looks just aren't quite the same as the 21-inch wheels, along with the price, which is why Tesla is likely focused on the 21-inch wheels on orders thus far. In any case, hopefully soon we should be seeing the Plaid delivered with these wheels, which many order holders have been waiting on for a while now. Yesterday, Tesla actually randomly opened up a large amount of Model S inventory, particularly with Plaid models, and some of them even include these 19-inch wheels. This means that if you check their inventory site and they have a configuration you like, the VIN is already set and you should be able to take delivery of that car very soon. I did notice that it is all cream and black interiors, at least on the west half of the United States, so likely a lot of people want the white interior, which makes a lot of sense. At the same time that Tesla is refreshing the Model S, they are also doing the same with the Model X, and that car remains to be seen or delivered. However, Tesla did just make a fairly large change to the wheels on that car. Up until now, the Cyberstream 20-inch wheels were a silver/gray color. Now they have been updated on the website, and for everyone who has these on order, and they are fully black. Many will like these new wheels, while some may miss the older option, but it looks like Tesla is going fully black on all of their wheel options. They did this with the Model S refresh as well. Those Tempest wheels I talked about used to be silver, and now the new ones that are hopefully getting delivered soon are black. Next up, some news about the Tesla Model Y, which is seeing some new configurations over in China. The Model Y has been made out of Tesla's main Fremont factory until earlier this year when Giga Shanghai started producing it there as well. For Europe, Tesla has planned to hold off on Model Y deliveries there until Giga Berlin is operational, with its first line being the Model Y, but Tesla ended up changing course there, likely due to the success of Giga Shanghai output. It was recently reported that Giga Shanghai output has hit 1,000 per day, outpacing the Model 3 manufacturing pace, which makes exporting them to Europe much easier, and those first deliveries there have now begun. According to a few sources, the first handovers of Model Ys in Germany, the Netherlands, and Norway have begun, and these are the versions made in Giga Shanghai. We should see many more delivered shortly, as Tesla has started turning Shanghai into sort of an export hub, reportedly exporting over 8,000 Model Ys earlier this month. These deliveries are beginning, and Giga Shanghai is producing the Model Y at incredible paces as we await the production lines of the Model Y at both Giga Berlin and Texas, hopefully getting up and running later this year. Out of China, however, Tesla has filed with the Chinese government to produce 5 more versions of the Model Y at that factory. Most of these versions are slight variations that won't concern the average person. There are 2 standard range versions of the car, one with a domestically produced motor and the other with an imported motor. This is exciting because many want this car, but the prospects of the standard range Model Y selling in the US aren't looking too good as far as Elon Musk says. However, it's likely that once Tesla has more factories, and mainly their second US factory making this car, the standard range may return. In any case, the other variants coming from China are a long-range rear-wheel drive model, long-range dual-motor model, and performance model. The most surprising there is the long-range rear-wheel drive, which Tesla originally announced and took orders for, but still has never produced. This car could be cheaper than the long-range all-wheel drive, get the performance many need, and have a longer range if all went well. We'll see what happens with that in China and potentially the US, but now there have been reports that Tesla is planning a, quote, super long-range Model Y in China that could drive around 400 miles. This would be far more range than the current Model Y, topping out at 326 miles, but let's look into it a little bit further. Reportedly, Tesla has filed for this and it would get 640 kilometers of range on the NEDC standard that is still used in China. This would translate to about 397 miles of range, which would be an incredible boost for the Model Y, getting close to the top range of the properly spec'd Model S. However, that's the NEDC standard, which is not used in many places for a reason. It's not realistic whatsoever. Even the EPA estimate on an electric car tends to be generous compared with real-world range, so the EPA range of this car is estimated to be closer to 565 kilometers or 351 miles of range. Still, this is not the same as the long-range Model Y currently at 326 miles. This is a 25-mile boost over that car, which has to come from somewhere besides just software. Likely a slightly larger battery pack, or this could potentially be the rear-wheel drive version seeing this boost in range thanks to less weight in the car. It's not really known why Tesla would make this, but even with the NEDC standard, those extra miles of range could help them cross into the 400-mile mark, outranging all other cars available in China that use that same mileage standard. Down the line, we will be surely seeing a 400-mile range Model Y in the United States using the EPA standard, but that one will come with the 4680 battery cells that Tesla detailed in depth at Battery Day. For now, this isn't really a 400-mile Model Y, but it still brings a 25-mile boost to the EPA range, which many would love to have on their cars. At least to a certain degree, the more range the better for these cars, so I'd love to see what ends up happening with this super long-range Model Y coming out of China. For now, European deliveries are beginning and 2 more factories should be building this car by the end of the year. I'm excited to see what that means both for the future range of this car as well as quality control coming from brand new, more advanced factories. Before we go any further, I'd like to give a quick thanks to today's sponsor, Wren. Wren is a website where you calculate your carbon footprint, then offset it by funding projects that plant trees and protect rainforests. It's a very easy way to start doing something about the climate crisis in just a few minutes. First, you answer a few questions about your lifestyle, including where you live, what type of car you drive, how often you travel, what you eat, and more. Then you see what your carbon footprint is and what steps you can personally take to reduce it. No one can reduce their carbon footprint to zero, so you can offset what you have left through monthly contributions. With these contributions, you'll be supporting various projects like tree planting, rainforest protection, and more, so you get monthly updates that show exactly what your money is being spent on. Again, you get to see the trees you planted and what your contribution is spent on to help offset your footprint. It will take a lot to end the climate crisis, but you can start helping today by learning more about Wren on their website, wren.co. I've partnered with Wren to plant 10 extra trees for the first 100 people who sign up using my link, so click the link in the description below to check it out and start offsetting your carbon footprint today. Next up, let's talk about that Tesla bot, which Tesla unveiled last week at AI Day. The Tesla bot is Tesla's vision of where their AI work can go. They are working hard on general 3D and 4D AI labeling via their autopilot cameras and full self-driving computer. The purpose of this has been to solve full self-driving, and they're still working on that, absolutely. However, the technology used to achieve it can be applied most other places, like in the form of a robot. Tesla detailed the purpose of this robot at their event, and Elon Musk gave a few more details on Twitter afterwards. The Tesla bot will carry 45 pounds, deadlift 150 pounds, weigh 125 pounds, stand 5 foot 8 inches tall, be friendly, and have the purpose of eliminating dangerous, boring, or repetitive tasks that humans currently do. At this point, Tesla said there will be a prototype next year, but many expect that that will be delayed and that these specs are just general predictions based on a first concept rendering. Other companies who have been working on robotic technology forever, like Boston Dynamics, make robots that don't look this clean, and many expect that Tesla will find this to be the case when actually building this. In any case, the idea of this Tesla bot concerned many Tesla fans who are focused on Tesla's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. How does a humanoid AI robot help out with any of those things? Well, Elon Musk responded saying, quote, "Bot is not directly on the path of accelerating a sustainable energy future, but it aspirationally improves the probability that the future is good." Essentially, it seems that this makes sense for Tesla since they are working hard on AI anyway with their full self-driving efforts. Making a product like this will seemingly help them make more money to do better things for the environment, but the Tesla bots themselves could also help making those products down the line. As far as the production of the AI bot and the necessary hardware to make it happen, Elon talked in the event about how they already make robots on wheels with their self-driving hardware in their cars. He expanded on this for production to say, quote, "We have almost all the pieces needed for humanoid robots since we already make robots with wheels." Many will doubt this since full self-driving has not been achieved, but Tesla does make robots on wheels like he says, they just don't yet have the software to make that completely capable, and even Elon Musk agrees on this with the latest full self-driving beta. For the FSD Beta, rolling out with regular updates to a small handful of beta testers, they are on version 9.2, to which Elon Musk said, quote, "FSD Beta 9.2 is actually not great in my opinion, but Autopilot/AI team is rallying to improve as fast as possible. We're trying to have a single stack for both highway and city streets, but it requires massive neural net retraining." Now for context, he's referring to the current beta given to beta testers only, contrary to whatever headline you may read like, quote, "Musk says Tesla's Autopilot software is not great." He is not talking about Autopilot software that all Teslas include, and he is likely specifically talking about the city streets part of the latest FSD beta. In any case, as his wording of, quote, "not great" got spread around, he responded to someone posting a successful FSD beta drive on version 9.2 to say, quote, "It's amazing by most standards, but we are aiming for 1000% safer than the average human driver." So even though the new beta appears to perform incredibly well in many situations, Elon Musk's standards are incredibly high. He does seem satisfied with version 9.3 though, saying, quote, "Just drove FSD Beta 9.3 from Pasadena to LAX, much improved." The pace that Tesla is now coming out with releases is very impressive, but at the end of the day, they still haven't shipped anything to customers, and hopefully something comes later this year to those who have spent so much on full self-driving software, with the promise of city streets coming later this year. Next up, I was talking in a recent video about how it can be wise to just put your Tesla order in if you're thinking about buying one, since it only costs $100 and you can delay that order until you actually want to get that car. That way you have a spot in line and don't end up finding a 6-month delay by the time you're ready to order. Well, Tesla has now officially changed their order fee to $250, more than double what it used to be. We're not sure why Tesla changed this, since in the end it ends up coming off the cost of the car, but it could have to do with people doing exactly what I recommended. For $250, people are probably less inclined to throw in a few Tesla orders, and the higher price helps Tesla organize who is actually going to be taking delivery as soon as possible. Tesla is very backed up on every one of their cars right now, and it's likely due to the chip shortage finally catching up to them, so there could be many factors at play. In any case, if you want to order a Tesla now, you'll need to put down $250 instead of the previous $100, unless you're specifically ordering a Cybertruck, which now is officially delayed until 2022. At Tesla's AI Day, we got a slight confirmation of Cybertruck timelines and new features. At the event, Tesla was talking about their full self-driving computer, which has been included in Teslas for a while now, with the idea of the computer achieving full self-driving via software. When speaking about this computer, known as Hardware 3.0, Elon Musk said, quote, "I am confident that Hardware 3, or the Full Self-Driving Computer 1, will be able to do full self-driving at a safety level much greater than humans. I don't know, probably 200 or 300% better than a human." At the same time, he also talked about Tesla's plan for a future FSD Computer 2, or Hardware 4, saying, quote, "Obviously, there will be a Hardware 4, or Self-Driving Computer 2, which we will probably introduce with the Cybertruck maybe in about a year or so. That will be about 4 times more capable, roughly." Him ending the quote with "roughly" seems to be Elon covering his bases a little bit and not giving true timelines for the future that people will hold on to. However, he included the Cybertruck in that prediction of about a year or so. If he's talking from now, that would mean that we won't be seeing the Cybertruck until the second half of 2022. The timeline still would make sense as they haven't finished the factory to make that car, but it definitely isn't exciting for those wanting the Cybertruck to come as soon as possible. In any case, if the Cybertruck truly comes with this new FSD computer, that will be a big deal for Tesla and will split their fleets between Hardware 3.0 cars and Hardware 4.0 cars. It'll be very interesting to see exactly what that would mean, but Tesla has promised full self-driving on the old or current computer, so it should work just as well in theory. Computers are always advancing and getting better, so it was only a matter of time before we saw the full self-driving computer 2, and now we may see it later next year along with the Cybertruck. Last up today, Tesla is currently under investigation for their autopilot system, while at the same time other automakers like Ford are claiming to have a hands-free system. I'm never one to only praise Tesla's full self-driving efforts because I think other automakers could definitely make compelling systems, and I hope that they do. But Sandy Munro did a full test drive of Blue Cruise and found it leaves a lot to be desired and is very misleading. Sandy liked some aspects of Blue Cruise, but also found that a number of things are frustrating compared to Tesla's system, like it not being able to take an off-ramp. The biggest shock came when he discovered and was told that there are a number of required manual interventions when doing things as simple as navigating curves. Alerts prompt the driver of this, quote, hands-free system to keep their hand on the wheel. Lane changes also require manual interventions. All of this to say, as Ford launches their Blue Cruise system and claims it to be hands-free, it is not hands-free as much as you may think it is. I'm all for self-driving systems and I'm excited to see other companies' efforts, but so far Blue Cruise, which is coming soon to the Mach-E, leaves quite a bit to be desired. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see my experience dealing with my Model Y getting into an accident on Turo, you can check out that video linked over here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.